Hello, everyone. It is GT time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
Hello, thanks for watching.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Konnichiwa.
In the super seat this week, Jessica Villarreal.
Hello, you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very
Awesome to have you.
excited.
Absolutely.
Very excited to be here.
And of course, making this all happen in the booth, Ian Hink.
Hi.
It's a long one. So, Jessica, you are a creator and producer of the best game show ever, host all over the place.
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining us in our super seat this week.
Yeah, well, I love Gametrailers, you guys. I mean, for those who don't know, I used to, do part of your social media back when you guys were still in Santa Monica, and recently did Ladies in the Lobby with Elise, and it's just one big happy family. Just hugs all around. Hugs.
I'm afraid, though, that you have a very serious responsibility in the super seat right now.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Hugs are gone.
Okay, no more hugs.
Hugs are over.
This is serious.
It's tough love.
Jessica, what is the best animal?
If I were biased, I would say my cat, Smokey. Mm-hmm. But unbiased aside, I decided to go with the cephalopod king, the octopus with a mustache here, or, as Elise called it, the Cthulhu. And I was like, I'm going to use the Cthulhu, because that's way cooler. But Cthulhu with a mustache is
Sure.
the best animal
What
ever.
makes it the best animal?
Okay, we'll have to go back to the cephalopod.
Sure.
What I think is so great about the octopus is they're the most intelligent, sea creatures out. One of the most intelligent sea creatures out there. They can change colors. They can ink. They're super bendy and flexible. Have you ever seen that viral video of the octopus squeezing through a door this thin, and it just goes back into the ocean? They're magnificent creatures.
Hold on. It is inside of someone's house, and then it goes through the bottom of a door and sneaks back out?
It's a boat. It's on a boat.
It's just a hole in the side of the ship.
It's this big.
Slowly.
And
it
so
just
their
creeps
brains are
through it.
squishy too?
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, they're crazy. And then they also they can change colors.
They can change colors and camouflage themselves. Not just one color, they can turn many colors as they camouflage themselves against
use tools.
coral and
They use tools? Excuse me?
Yeah.
hammer and nails. No, I'm just
No,
joking.
what does that mean they use tools?
There's another viral video that's kind of gone around with it's got two halves of a coconut, and then it just closes itself in to just look like it's a coconut on the bottom of the ocean.
Oh yeah, that one was pretty recent. Yeah.
No way.
Problem solving, another
Yeah.
video. There's a piece of food in a jar, and the octopus finds a way to open the jar, twists the cap off to get to the food and eat it. That's why they're the best.
That was a great
Yeah.
nomination. I have to be honest, that was a great
Yeah, you
nomination.
just destroyed that question. I think that's the third or fourth person we
escape
asked.
artists too.
That's fascinating to me. Okay, octopus, great
Yeah.
suggestion. We do have to move on to corrections. Please begin corrections music. One thing I'm not going to accept anymore is us making the excuse that you can't sit on your couch and play PC games. We got to outlaw that excuse.
I just sat on the couch and played a PC game last night.
Yeah, exactly. So from this day forth, we can't say that anymore.
We all know that you can. We're not saying that you can't. It's just, less common. I don't know.
You can plug a PS4 controller into your PC. It absolutely works. Fish and fishes are both usable words, but they are not interchangeable. There are two omissions that I left out from last week that I feel bad about. We didn't talk about Super Mario Maker. We didn't talk about Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Both of those are in the 80 above club, and I overlooked them.
Oh, yeah.
Antlers aren't horns. Moose are violent.
Oh yeah.
I said that.
Yeah.
I said that last
Yeah.
week. They're jerks.
Here's a really great story. This is from Swerik. There's a famous case here in Sweden where a lady who was out for a walk got killed by a moose. The husband got arrested and had to wait trial for a while. They thought he ran her over with a lawnmower, but then the DNA came back and the moose stuff was all over her body.
Ran her over with a lawnmower?
So
was she
imagine-
shredded?
She must have been
wonder.
shredded by that
Oh my
moose.
gosh.
Moose are like evil monsters.
They
and
are
they're
pretty
gigantic.
aggressive, yeah. So they're super strong.
Just
Here's another fun moose fact.
antler, hoof, hoof.
No,
Antler.
and then just probably teeth and I can't believe
Yeah.
how mauled the body would have to be. From North Candle, moose aren't native to Yosemite. I think Huber's parents might have lied to him. He saw some other creature off in the distance.
But he said it was really far in the distance, which kind of like cements that for me. That, like,
gosh.
that
Maybe
totally
it was
sounds.
Bigfoot.
That totally sounds
He
like.
spotted Bigfoot.
That's a very Huber thing to have happen too.
Or it was an elk or something. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's stuck with him. He still wants to find that moose in Yosemite, and he can't. And corrections music.
My mother-in-law loves to drop those all the time. Like my favorite when I first started dating Amanda was she's like, oh, do you know the cows that like graze on a hill? Like gradually one of their legs will like be shorter than the other leg because they're always on the hill. And it's just like a long drive, so I'm not even thinking. And I'm like, oh, cool, okay. Just snickering. I'm like, wait, what? That doesn't make sense. He loves those. Like drops them all the time.
They love to do tricks.
Like you say, hey, buddy, it's a moose over there, little Huber. Really?
Did I ever tell you the story about my favorite memory of my cousin's treehouse?
Oh yeah, you told me that story.
I told you that story?
No, you haven't. What is it?
You got me, Clyde. All my life, like until I was maybe like 24 or something, I had this memory, this cherished memory of my cousin Louie's treehouse. It was like an incredible treehouse, a system of treehouses, like 3 different things linked by bridges. It was phenomenal. And then at one point I was like, oh, Louie, whatever happened to that old treehouse you had? And he's like, what? And I'm like, your old treehouse. And he's like, I never had a treehouse. And it turns out that it had been a dream that I had that I just thought was real.
You know, wish
Lied
kid.
You only
about
went
my
over to
own
his house
psyche.
like twice, I guess.
Yeah.
Otherwise
My
you probably
psyche
wouldn't
is the
remember.
Huber's mom of the
Yeah.
mind.
You were just watching Return of the Jedi. You're like,
Yeah.
Right.
Wait,
I
do they
just
have
like
a cool
Ewok
treehouse?
village.
Oh, okay.
There are cool
Yeah.
treehouses.
What the hell,
in
Kyle?
Last week we had
I was
a
really into Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves too.
Also good treehouse.
Anyway.
good tree houses. Swiss Family Robinson. I don't know. Last week we had a viewer challenge about who these faces are on the wall, our superhero faces. We have our answers. That is Golden Age Daredevil, Golden Age Sandman, Captain America, Iceman, and Iron Man. The people who got that right, here we go. Muppet Eat, 3 Flush Dump, Glory,
Flush dump.
Kid Galactus.
That's amazing.
Whoa, this is heavy, Doc. Giro 017, Sammy PS, Son Fam, Sazime, Y2KK 2000, KBM Noctis, Jamie Ryan, Zachary Bias, Torin Reeves, Rob Scott 5598, and Cal 1, Dante, and Virgil X.
Yeah, that's
I
impressive.
love all of those names.
They're so good.
They're so good.
Still not feeling Iceman. I still think the Silver Surfer.
It's absolutely Iceman.
Yeah, it is.
I wish that we'd
like
remembered
based on
to set
what?
up
Like
the
what
camera
image
for
are they
this.
drawing that from?
Silver
Just
Surfer,
because-
Silver
Alright,
Surfer
hang on.
doesn't have ears, and he also never has pupils.
Oh, well there you go.
Whoa.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me to have an X-Men in there because all of those other characters are from their own independent series.
Yeah, and
like
actually-
Iron Man is an Avenger, but he's also Iron Man, where there was never an Iceman comic.
Also,
so it's just like,
all those characters are from Golden Age, which with the exception of Iceman, who's from the 60s. So he is
Interesting.
definitely an outlier.
Okay.
Your nose was correct to sniff him out.
okay, cool.
We should move on to talking about
No,
video
keep
games.
talking
though.
about it. I just set up the camera.
All right, there they are. Daredevil is actually really cool. He didn't even exist for that long, and he's just like a sick like. Just imagine a time where superheroes could just be strong,
He wasn't even blind?
not even blind.
Is this a different Daredevil?
I think
or
it
like,
is a different Daredevil.
Extremely
yeah.
different Daredevil.
Okay.
This is from Image Comics. this
Unrelated.
Daredevil. Yeah.
Dude, Image Comics, BT Dubs
Whoa.
is
what?
so good.
What's coming?
I'm reading Nowhere Men right now. I love it.
Nowhere Man.
Nowhere
recommendation.
Men.
Okay, Nowhere Men. Recommendation from Ian.
Yeah.
But we gotta start talking about video games.
What are those?
There's those things we love. Everyone knows my favorite way to start a show is to talk about game announcements. We have plenty of those coming, but we actually have bigger news to lead with this week. Nintendo has its new president. It's the first time I get to say it. I want to say it right. Tatsumi Kimishima.
It's a little overemphasized, but sure.
All right, a little overemphasized. Fine.
Yeah.
This is our new president. I don't think a lot of people predicted it would be this man. Bled, you seem ready to talk. What's going on? Do you like this guy?
Well, it's weird because there's not much to know whether you like this guy. He's been at Nintendo for quite a while, and he's just been kind of in the background running things. So yeah, chances are he'll still be in the background running things.
Is he the head of HR? I thought I read that.
No, he was
somewhere.
like the president, or like no, Reggie was the president of Nintendo of America, and he was the CEO, right? Is that how that goes?
During the GameCube era is when he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
at.
I heard
Oh,
the HR
yeah.
thing too, I thought.
Yeah, I thought I read something about him being the head of HR, and I was very confused.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, I mean, if you have conflicting, information, I might have read that wrong.
Well, no, I mean, exactly. This is part of the issue. This is part of like what's going on with the announcement of this president. We got an article in Nikkei that suggests it was a rushed decision, that they were searching for someone younger, that Kimishima wasn't even Iwata's first choice. Just these a lot of weird things about like, hey, this guy is basically their plan B.
But they were also very positive about him because, he's somebody that can like keep the company stable and like he's a businessman.
Yes.
And so, he can prep, whoever will be that next generation person, whether it's from inside the company or outside the company.
And they did say it was a temporary solution. So I think they just needed someone in that spot immediately. And they have enough time to take their time and go out and find the perfect person because, I feel like the president job at Nintendo is like, you're a for lifer at that point. Like, in the Japanese companies, it's not like they're a president for like 2 years and then they go find work somewhere else. Like, they're in it to win it.
Yeah,
so.
Iwata was the first president of Nintendo that was not of the family. Outside of the Yamauchi family.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Cool fact.
It was like royalty almost. It was like passed down from generation to generation.
And then Iwata came in and killed it. That's really interesting.
So, according to my sources at Wikipedia,
Sure. Thank you.
He was the president of Nintendo America from January 2002 until 2006. Why am I saying it like
2006
that?
is very
2006.
weird. Okay, thank you.
When Reggie Fils-Aimé took his place.
Oh, okay.
And then he was managing director of Nintendo in 2013. But Bossman, fun fact, he used to be the chief financial officer of Pokemon Company, and then he was the president of Pokemon USA.
What years?
2001, he became the president of Pokemon USA until 2002.
Those were bad years for Pokemon.
Yeah. So that bodes unwell.
That does not sound good. So nothing about HR. That was something that maybe we both saw.
I'm looking still. Yeah,
okay.
I'm looking.
Okay.
Brandon, should he do Nintendo Directs? Should he just be up front and just be that person, or should he play a different role?
I'd have to see him do one or see him talk.
What if that's too late? What if he comes up and does a Nintendo Direct and it's weird?
It can't be the same thing. Yeah, you can't. It's like your show, Kyle. It's like we didn't do a GT time while you were out that week. You have to do something else. I think that was actually one of my first thoughts when we lost Iwata. Was like, yeah, they got to change those. They can't do that format because that'll be weird.
Yeah.
Do you think it should go back to like the press conference style?
No, you can still do like a direct, like you can still do that type of video, but like just maybe change up the framework of how you do it. Maybe not intro it like he does.
Yeah,
Like
just
pick
take
a
out the
different,
host.
just a different aesthetic. Like sit down on a couch or like pick a good office that you can do it in, or just some way to just kind of, or maybe start with different people, like start with Bill or start with Reggie. Like just open with people we're familiar with.
Right.
And just don't take as much as he tries to imitate Iwata. I think that'll be a mistake. Just to say nothing about how he'll actually do his job, but just when we get those videos, when they do those announcements, yeah, that's how I would handle it.
They already kind of jump between people,
Yeah.
so they'll probably just do that, not have a host at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to me still that like being a president or CEO of a video game company means that you also have to be good at being a presenter on a stage. Mm-hmm. When that's like so irrelevant to what this person wants to do with his company. That he's which would be like propelled onto like, oh, and also host this web show that people hate. You know what I mean? Like I hope they don't make him do it personally. I hope he doesn't have to be into that. But
did you write down like all the restructuring stuff too?
I didn't. So you want to talk about those?
I'd like to. I don't know if I remember it all off the top of my head, but I know for sure. So Miyamoto, they made Creative Fellow, and then Iguchi was the other one that they made Technology Fellow.
We're gonna need Ian on that one.
Sorry. And then they combined the software teams. Like there's just like one big team now.
That is actually a huge deal. I'm sorry, I missed over that part. Yeah, so I think it was Takeda became.
Is it Takeda?
Yeah, technology fellow. So he'll be in charge of consoles. Miyamoto in charge of software. Guidance. Basically, they said this is Nintendo's first ever fellows, and then they'll be guiding.
Miyamoto Creative Fellow, Takeda,
Takeda, okay.
technology fellow.
Yeah, and yeah,
That's your favorite. He'll just walk around and tell people, like, no, move that cloud over there.
oh, you don't know how much that bothers me.
And then
The fact that he's got this new higher than ever role of just being able to say Paper Mario, no story, please, it gets under my skin.
and then similarly the hardware teams and the UI teams, like the guys that make the menus and stuff, they're going to be actually combined as well.
Blood, was it your theory that the NX is going to be handheld and console all in one thing?
Yeah, well, my theory is that NX will be multiple devices that share the same games and UI.
Well, this would lead to that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. That's a really, really crazy thing that has also been announced along this side of this. Thanks for picking it up, Blood.
Yeah.
Reading between the lines on GT Live. We should move on, though. We should talk about TGS this week. Sony had a huge press conference, and most of the news that we're going to talk about is getting derived from that. First of all, let's start with some game announcements. One that I don't think that I really thought was coming. Gravity Days 2. In the US, the series is called Gravity Rush. It is not immensely popular sales-wise, but it has a lot of fans.
And a great soundtrack.
And a great soundtrack, apparently.
Also, whoa. Like, I get that they're trying to balance out the logo, but there's no space between Days and 2, but there is between Gravity and Days.
I have absolutely no qualms with this logo. I think it's one of the best logos I've seen all week.
I think they're trying to make it
It's
symmetrical.
it's a good
They're
symmetrical
giving some symmetry
arc.
there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not. The center gap is not in the center.
Oh my goodness. This is the first comment we have about the announcement of Gravity Days 2.
Animation looked good.
He's right, it did. Basically, what was announced first was Gravity Days HD coming to PS4, and then
Then some kind of anime or something that they're doing.
Yes, Gravity Days Project, I believe that was announced as. Yeah, they're franchising this thing out, despite it not exploding on Vita. And so basically, it reminds me of when a TV network will pick up a show that isn't doing well. Like the guy who eats people. Hannibal?
Yes, that is Hannibal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the
Good
one.
description.
That would be it.
We got there. Like Hannibal, it'd be like NBC renews Hannibal, and I always thought, why? And I kind of feel like with Gravity Days, it's kind of that thing where people love it. It didn't sell well. Do you have hopes for this? Do you think when Sony tries to franchise it out, it will work?
You know, I never played it, so I'm not too familiar with if I would like it or not. I feel like I played a demo of it at E3,
Probably, yeah.
2012
Yeah.
era or something like that. Yeah. And I remember really enjoying it then, but I only got 5 or 6 minutes with it. But I mean, there's a lot of people that are fans of this sort of animation style. It just looks like, anime. So I feel like, out here, there's so many anime fans that if they're presented this sort of animation, they're like, I'll play it. I love it. It's got some great J-pop music. I'll play it. It's great.
And just her just falling forward toward buildings, it just looks cool.
There's a girl falling. I'll play it.
So I guess the question really is then, was the Vita holding the series back?
I think in a way, just because, internationally it's sort of it's a very limited audience, and I personally, because I never got around to picking up a Vita, is one of those games where, I would have, if I had a Vita, I would have definitely played it.
Mm-hmm. So basically none of us have played this game.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I certainly haven't.
I think Ben is the only one who's played it.
Wow. Yeah, he was the most excited, certainly.
Yeah, he's
he was
excited about everything. So.
He was definitely pumped. And
But
also,
it's one of those things where it's kind of funny. I'm playing Tearaway right now on the PS4, and it's just all these great Vita games I wanted to play. I'm just I'm getting them. So.
I do remember the demo being exceptionally gorgeous, even back then. And so I can only imagine how good it's going to look on, the PS4 with how strong, everything is in the PS4. It's going to look amazing.
Yeah.
So I would like to try it when it
Absolutely.
comes out. I would definitely give it a shot.
Are Vita owners getting shortchanged? Is Gravity Days 2 not coming to Vita? Does Sony owe them anything? Should there be a version on Vita, or is it fine to just kind of move on at this point?
I think it's very clear that they're moving on.
Yeah.
I mean, how much
Yeah.
did they talk about the Vita during the press conference?
They
I didn't
talked
see
about
that.
I
a
actually
lot.
talked about quite a bit there.
Actually, yeah, there's a lot of Vita stuff.
But stuff like just coming to Vita, like stuff that is originating on the Vita, like not stuff that's available on both, like not
There was
cross.
one game that is only on Vita, actually. We'll get to it, but yeah, you're right, Brandon.
But Target is clearing out all their Vita games, apparently.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I saw some people, just kind of anecdotal reports of like, all the Vita stuff is just getting like slashed and taken out of Target stores.
Wow.
So
This is sort of a little away from the Tokyo Game Show, but do you remember there was a game that was announced? I don't know if it ever came out, but it was a game that you could have on the Vita and your PlayStation 3. And if you wanted to play it on your PlayStation 3, you could like pause your game and take your Vita out portably and play it outside of your house
That
and
was
continue.
supposed to be every game.
Was it supposed to be every game?
They tried for a lot. Yeah, transfarring was Kojima's word for it.
yeah,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Yeah, the transfer. Did that
Yeah.
ever happen?
I think
happens.
it's happened. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Like,
okay.
There's cross save on stuff like Rogue Legacy, stuff
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, you're right. I
Lighter
think
games,
I think that's where it
generally.
works best. Is like a Rogue Legacy. That is where you want to cross save.
Also, wait, did they bring back Hannibal or no?
No.
No,
A
they
cruel
didn't.
example.
They brought Hannibal back for too many seasons.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I thought people loved
should
that
shut
show.
your
They do
whore
love that
mouth.
show, but the way that TV business works is like if you get to those 5 seasons, yes, you're in the money. But if you
Yeah.
get to something less than that, you wasted all
Wasted
that money.
Well, the funniest thing was like I watched the season 3 premiere, and I was like, "This is so artsy. They've
Yeah.
gone so artsy with it. There's no way that like mainstream audiences are gonna put up with this." 3 weeks later, show canceled.
Yeah.
I was just like, "Yep, there it is."
That's how. Yeah. That's Gravity Days. But Gravity Days got picked up. It happened.
Good for them.
We're moving on to a much less artsy game. We're moving on to talk about Umbrella Corps, another game that was announced this week.
So hyped.
Shoot, Brandon, how would you? What is Umbrella Corps?
Umbrella Corps looks like a game we've already got because we did get an Umbrella game.
No,
The
that
word
was-
Umbrella has been in several Resident Evil games.
Oh, sure.
We
Yeah.
did. We
Umbrella
did get like
Chronicles.
an
Yeah.
but we did get a military-based third-person shooter.
Operation Raccoon City.
Operation Raccoon City. Yeah, it's like that, but it looks like mostly focused. I mean, it looks like that. Like I really can't tell the difference between these two games, other than this one has a lot of like melee stuff going on. You have like hook blades that you can slap people with, and there's a lot of like platforming tricks that you can hang onto ledges and climb up over ledges.
And also, this has been described as a competitive multiplayer game.
It looked competitive, yeah. It looked
Yeah.
like dudes fighting dudes, and zombies were just kind of there,
They're a
like
factor.
moving around.
Yeah.
And
You can grab
like,
a zombie and use it as a human shield. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm sure there's tools for like make people smell good to zombies, and so they'll all, swarm a guy or something.
Which I think that actually was one of the mechanics in Raccoon City, if I remember right.
Make people smell good to zombies?
Yeah, like you were trying to get the zombies to kind of work in your favor. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I get
Which,
that.
like,
So you
yeah,
spray
yeah.
someone else so the zombies attack that
Yeah.
person, not you.
Here's what's interesting about it, though, is it's a $30 game. It's announced as a $30
Yeah.
game.
Okay.
It's coming to PS4 and PC. It's a competitive multiplayer game. Can Capcom make a competitive multiplayer game that succeeds?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like at this point it's kind of like, oh, another Resident Evil game, guys. Here you go. I mean, it's I love Capcom and I've always loved Capcom, but I feel like it's just they're sort of recycling what works and it's starting to get a little dated. I feel like all we've really seen from Capcom lately is like something Street Fighter related or something Resident Evil related, and I'm just like, you have other franchises that you could go do stuff with, like give us something else. Like I saw this press release and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, thanks Capcom.
What's really interesting is along the lines of what you're saying. In Japan, this game is called Biohazard Umbrella Corps. In the U.S., Resident Evil is not attached to the title.
That's right.
Do we think there's someone on the U.S. team who thinks like Jess, who says like, "Oh, we should not attach Resident Evil to this"? Do you think that's what that is? Or that's the branding?
It sort of feels that way, right? It's like, why did they take it off? And it is. I mean, the problem is, you have a Resident Evil game that doesn't appear to have anything that people like about Resident Evil.
I mean, this is a travesty if you look at it in the framework of a Resident Evil game.
It could actually be a good game, but nobody cares.
Are there any familiar
I doubt
faces
it.
in there? Like anyone
No,
that we know?
I mean, there's no faces.
There's no faces at all. Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is just like why on earth now? Like, what is this based off of? Like, you can't, like, there's nothing about this game where it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of where Resident Evil is at right now. It's like, no, Resident Evil needs a big project, needs a big, and like, yeah, it's
Right.
neat we're getting like a 0 remake, but yeah, this is just why on earth would you invest whatever resources you did on this?
So it's basically a zombie game with the Umbrella name attached to it, so people will buy it.
Yeah, it looks like
So
Rainbow
it's
Six kind of. Like I'm getting like a strong like Battlefield
Actually-
Rainbow Six vibe.
That might be a good theory, Jess. This might have been a different game that they just slapped Umbrella branding on.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be less hard on it. I think it is. I think it is that. I think it's just like it's. This isn't where Resident Evil is going. I think this is just like a side shoot that
Well, I
was
haven't-
positioned the wrong way.
I haven't looked into it, but I'd be curious to see if this is the same team that did Raccoon City.
Yeah, so another really interesting thing is it's running on Unity engine, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, I wonder if it's even
Coming to
Eastern
phones.
Studio. Yeah, coming to phones.
Well, you couldn't tell its significance from the show because he came out and showed the logo of every major Resident Evil game behind him and was talking about the history of Resident Evil and its anniversary year, and then showed this. And it's just like, just
How dare you.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
Just show a trailer, make us wonder what it is, and then you come out later like, oh, okay,
I was
whatever.
convinced they were going to do some kind of mega collection with like all the games playable on your PS4, and it's like, oh, I guess this is what we're getting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. There's still time. The 20th anniversary has not even begun. There's still time to have that collection, Blood Wants, and everything
yeah.
else.
With this and the 30th anniversary debacle of Mario, like, maybe the word anniversary doesn't mean what
I'm sorry.
we think it means.
What is the debacle of Mario?
Just that they didn't come out with a Mario game is just Mario Maker. You guys were all pissed about it. I'm just saying it because you guys were pissed about it.
I was,
Wait.
and I've started playing Mario Maker.
It's great,
It's
isn't
amazing.
it?
Yeah.
It is
See?
amazing.
So, all right, I retract that.
Did I
then.
miss something? Was there some?
Kyle's a
I've been a
bitch.
hater since day one for Mario Maker.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man! And now the tables have turned.
The tables. I mean, it's. I still hate it. Let me be clear. I still hate it. It makes me furious. There are shadows on the clouds in the sky.
Oh, man.
But it's so fun to make levels. It's so
Yeah.
fun to create. It's really really fun.
I bought it day one so I could get the Rubik's Cube from Target. So they gave me a free Rubik's
Target had
Cube when I
Rubik's
bought.
Cubes?
Yeah. Oh, I should have brought it.
Are they Mario colors?
It's in the theme of the Super Mario Maker, and it has the 30th anniversary symbol on it
man.
too.
So it has
Yeah,
shadows
yeah.
all over it.
Yeah.
Bossman would hate it.
We should
It casts a shadow.
move on from my neuroses. Other third-party announcements. This is a list. Give me some time. I got to get through this list. This is everything that happened at Sony's press conference that was announced. Yakuza HD, Yakuza 6, King of Fighters 14, One Piece Burning Blood, Gundam Extreme Versus Force, Tokiden 2, Neo, Saga Scarlet Grace, that's the Vita exclusive game, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8, Final Chapter Prologue, oh boy, Ikene to Yuki no Setsuna, 13 Sentinels,
Nailed it.
Aegis Rim, and Danganronpa V3, games that were shown, Dragon Quest Builders, World of Final Fantasy, Exist Archive, Dragon Quest Heroes 2. Why I mentioned all those games, those are all, or at least were announced as PlayStation exclusive games, platforms-wise. Vita, PS3, PlayStation 4, all of those games exclusive to PlayStation platforms. Is that not crazy?
A great lineup for TGS too. I mean, just
Yeah.
think specifically for that market, that's a lot of good things to show.
So my question for the panel basically is looking at all of that is I think like a lot of exclusive deals are, paid for. You know what I mean? Like here, let us help, let's scratch each other's backs here. Is that the case with all these games? Do you think that's the case?
Nah.
No, I think it's just the Sony audience, wants more of like those Japanese titles, and the Xbox One never really sold that well in the Japanese market, so I feel like they don't really have any reason to put those kinds of games on their consoles because there's really no demand for it. Like the demand comes from the Sony fans, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me because I do feel like the demand exists in the US at least. So it's crazy to me to see that platform ignored. Yeah, that is really what I want to ask is like, why is the Xbox One being ignored with all of these games?
Because it never sold at all, like she said. Like, literally no one in Japan bought an Xbox One.
But do you think this is just Japan being concerned about Japan? You know what I mean? Like there's a world market out here who wants to play these weird games.
But I think that they don't see that as their primary moneymaker.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, like a lot of those games, like even Dragon Quest, like as hard as Square Enix and Nintendo have tried to push Dragon Quest in the U.S. and I think maybe even in Europe, it's been very much like this niche audience. There's like, okay, they're just barely making it by porting these games to, you know, and localizing them and all those, you know, different aspects. And so to like add like another platform onto that, you know, is again, as Jess was saying, is like primarily the American market. It's not even as big in Europe. It's a tricky situation. It's like, well, what justifies putting it on Xbox for them?
Yeah, but like Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8, like even that's
that one could definitely be on both. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's Sony deals. I wonder if it's really just like their buddies and they're just like, yeah, we'll only put it on some Sony platforms. That's crazy to me. It's basically, Brandon, what do you think of that slew of exclusives? Basically, is that a big deal, or is that like, do you think that won't equate to anything in the long run? Are they all niche games?
I think it's huge. I think it's what Sony's been up to, just kind of like their modus operandi for the last like 2 years is just all of these awesome, you know, projects that are coming to, you know, the PlayStation 4. And it when they're announced, it seems more like, hey, we're adding these to the bunch, as opposed to like Xbox being like Tomb Raider, you know, this is a huge deal. And we're like, it might be. I'm hoping Rise is cool, but I don't know. And that's just one game. You got that in Forza and Halo. That's like their fall, really. And just like, how many announcements has Sony made? You know, they still have PSX coming up. Like, I think they're being I think my favorite thing that Sony's been doing is just being very, very smart about how they focus on their announcements. You know, even though the Kickstarter for Shenmue it's still just a Kickstarter, like the game doesn't actually exist technically. Just that announcement was so smart, and like when they you know finally made that deal, when they decided to announce that, and just like I said, these are the perfect games to show at that show to that audience at that time of the year. Just to not necessarily have us, you know, really focus on like, okay, let's talk about the big games of Q4. Like, we're ready for them. We know it. You know, like, oh, let's, you know, announce something that we're not going to get for years and years. It's like, no, we're just going to do all this stuff that's like King of Fighters One Piece level. You know, like there might be one like Kingdom Hearts or something that you're really excited about, but you're not like. None of these is being presented in a way where you're really not excited. You're just like, why would you bring that up at TGS? Like, why would you make a sequel to that stupid thing?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, yeah, no, okay, yeah, all of that. Like, even Dragon Quest Builders, I'm really excited about to see more of. So,
Me too, actually, yeah.
Yeah, they're not all, like, Tomb Raider level, where it's like, you know, they're built on, like, a quality product, but they also have all this hype attached to it. It's just, like, one tiny little deal after another.
Yeah.
And I think they really add up, you know. Especially just something to talk about. Like you're saying, you love game announcements. There's just something about a new game announcement.
Yeah.
You know,
and that was a lot of announcements.
Just rating on Umbrella. I was still like, well, you know, when he came out on stage and said the word Resident Evil, like, it was hilarious watching you guys just freaking out. What could this be? And I think that's how you feel when Sony ever takes the mic. It's like, oh man, what could this be?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's not what I expected, but it's still something cool.
It was a cool show. It was, as you say, you like when people show the game first and then talk about it. We saw that a lot with this show. And I like that.
Because that's
cool.
super exciting when they just kind of come out and they're like, oh, I'm not going to tell you what this is. And they walk off stage and then like something pops up and you're just like, you lose your mind. Those are the best. That's my favorite.
I think Neo was that game of this show where it was just like, here's some game, check this out. And you just see like a sick samurai armor guy just running in the dark, and then he just cuts a guy once and that person's dead, and you're like, oh, this is like a Souls game, you know. Just the one slash. That was a great intro for that game. We should move on. I'm trying not to talk about only the Sony TGS press conference, but there's more headlines that came out of there. This is a tiny one. Faceplate colors will be available in Japanese stores. You can make your PlayStation 4 colorful. You can make it blue or pink, yellow, gold or silver, even if you're willing to pre-order. Do you think that's something that'll come to the U.S., or is that really just a strictly Japanese thing, do you think?
Well, they didn't even say that was like only in Sony's store or something like that in Japan. So it's limited there.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting if they like put a small amount of stock in like Amazon or GameStop or something like that, just like for online orders and see how it does.
You got the odd Sony store here too. Like I think there's one at the Westfield Mall in LA.
There's one in that little Beverly Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it is something where if they did put it on Amazon, it would sell out instantly.
Yeah.
I think honestly, like it's a stupid thing that people would love to have.
Right.
Make your PS4 look like your PS4 is the idea, I think.
It sounds silly on paper, but like at the end of the day, people want choices and they want options and they want the option to buy something to decorate what they love. Like, look at all the phone case industry. How many phone cases do you see? You got like the wooden etched ones, you got like colorful ones, you got blinged ones, and they sell like hotcakes. And yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if they released those here in America. People would buy them immediately because it's just a thing.
We love our things. We love our things.
Well, I have an Alan Wake thing on my Xbox 360. And not because
faceplate?
And not because I'm a huge Alan Wake fan or anything. I actually had it on there for years before I'd even played Alan Wake. Cool. I just liked the way it looked.
That's cool.
Which color do you think would not sell out? I feel like all of them except one would
Lime
go
green.
like hotcakes. Yeah, green.
Pink,
I think would go.
Well, it depends on what kind of pink it is. Sometimes they have like the weird, like, it's almost like the birth control looking pink, and I'm just like, this is not attractive at all. It's like this pale
Pepto-Bismol.
pink.
Pepto-Bismol
Like, I want like a
pink.
pink with like some deep, like rich colors in it. Don't give me like this like tepid looking pink. And so I'm
A strong pink.
I
a
agree.
strong pink.
Yeah.
I don't want like a meek pink. Okay. But I would get a yellow one if they had yellow.
They have yellow.
I would decorate my PS4 with some yellow.
They absolutely do have yellow.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Is it just half, or can you do the whole PS4?
It's just the one shiny part of the PS4,
Is
the
that
one
the
panel.
big half or the top part?
The top
The top
part.
part, yeah.
Oh, okay. So the bottom part is black.
Black forever or white forever, depending on
Yeah.
which one you
Oh,
bought.
right.
Yeah, it's
the ones
basically
they
the-
showed were white in their examples.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the part that
Yeah.
the hard drive is under, yeah.
Yeah, the top.
Ooh,
okay.
if you slide it off, your hard drive is exposed?
I don't think it's exposed. I think there's still another step.
Oh,
but yeah.
okay. Cool. Yeah, I've never slid mine off. Now I'm curious too. Project Morpheus is now PlayStation
PlayStation
VR. Yeah. Are you excited about that?
I think it's a smart decision.
How come?
Yeah, because I mean, like the general public is not going to know what a Morpheus is. And so like calling it the PlayStation VR, like people at least understand what VR is, you
Yeah.
know, just like normal consumers, not the hardcore, gamers or people who are really following the news. And even Oculus Rift, who's sort of leading, the way or paving the way, they're still called Oculus VR. So I think having VR at the end of your name is very smart because it's still so new that I think if it didn't have VR attached to it, you're like the general public's not going to really understand what's going on.
Yeah, Morpheus is a dumb word, right?
No, I loved Morpheus. I thought that was such a cool name. I mean, I'm bummed that they're taking away the Morpheus name because it's like I really think that's like a dope word.
Yeah.
But calling it PlayStation VR is smart because just from a marketing standpoint.
Business sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in support of it as well. Talking about business sense, PlayStation 4 price in Japan dropped this week. That was another huge announcement. From 39,980 yen to 34,980 yen.
Yeah. That's basically from
Yeah.
$399 to $349.
Yeah, I mean,
much? I'm sorry?
Google says
Essentially.
something way different. I mean,
Well,
basically,
you're going off at exchange rates though, but
yeah, imagine it's just basically like going from 400 to 350, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of dip. That is the PlayStation 4's first ever price cut. Mm-hmm. Was it time?
No, I didn't think so, but I mean, because I bought mine recently. I got it with the Last of Us edition with Madden, and then I bought Until Dawn on top of that. But no, I was still very okay with paying. What was it, $399?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I would love to have gotten it for $50 off, but I didn't think it was like time for a price drop. I mean, it's not even like the holidays yet.
Yeah,
But I mean, I guess that is.
I think it's needed in Japan. I think Japan is still very handheld centric, and as we saw, Sony's moving away from the Vita for a large part, so they need to try to spur sales in Japan to get people on board, and and hopefully like a lot of those games will help as well. Seeing again like people that liked Gravity Days on the Vita, like okay, come on and join the PS4 and see how much better it can be. So.
See how much better it can be. Yeah, I think, Blood, you're right. I think they are transitioning out. Brandon, do you think this price cut will continue to the rest of the world?
Sure, yeah. I think they're just going to try it out in Japan, but I think this is less about a like Microsoft competitive thing and more for them just to be like, just get rid of your PS3. Just it's time, do it now.
Yeah,
That's
but also
what I
get
did.
rid of your Vita as well. I think is actually a compelling part of that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because there's no indication that Sony intends to continue in the handheld market. And considering that is the huge part of Japan, they've got to get people on the consoles.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just going to lose entirely to mobile phones.
And I think there's actually a new hardware model of the PS4 recently. So they're probably lowered their manufacturing costs. I wouldn't be surprised if the price cut continues to the rest of the world. I think it's happening.
PSX, we'll see it, I bet.
Yeah, so that was cool. That was a cool announcement. But meanwhile, in the U.S., we have this headline that GameStop has announced that it will no longer sell consoles bundled with digital games. So this has been weird, actually. Basically, every single console you buy has a game bundled in with it these days. As Jess, your console came bundled, right?
Yeah, with The Last of Us and Madden.
And were those download codes or were those physical games?
I think Last of Us is a download code. Madden was a physical copy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, basically they all come with, at least it's cool you got 2 games bundled with that. I don't know how you worked that out. That's cool. But GameStop doesn't like that because GameStop can't get your copy of The Last of Us now, and that makes them furious.
Right.
So what they're doing now is they say, hey, you can't, we will not sell any console that you give to us that has a digital code. So any bundles with Madden at GameStop had a physical Madden disc inside of it.
Right.
And so my question for the panel is, whose side are you on in this case? Are you on GameStop's side for like saying, hey, yeah, we're not going to sell digital bundle consoles, or are you on the console manufacturer's side?
I don't know that I'm on a side.
Yeah.
Well, again, like I was saying, like people just want options.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if they had like the option to get it with the digital code or the option, to get it with a physical copy. I understand why GameStop is doing that because again, you can't return, a digital copy. But also at the same time, if someone didn't want, the digital copy because they have poor internet connection or whatever, it'd be nice to have the physical copy so they could play because I think we're spoiled out here in LA and all of our internets are like amazing. But I think there are places in America still that have like really crappy, internet service.
And not just that, but capped internet services. Right. That's like the scariest thing in the world when you're trying to download a whole stinking game.
Right.
Yeah, actually, my Xbox One came with Assassin's Creed Unity, and I didn't realize at the time, but there's like some weird thing with like the Xbox One doesn't like my Wi-Fi or something. Like every other device works perfectly fine. Xbox One on Wi-Fi, it's like a third or less of the speed of being wired. And so I, just set that up to go, and I didn't realize that was happening at the time because I had just gotten it. And so it was like 3 days before I actually had that game. Because
That was very crazy,
because I've got all these other consoles and stuff, so I was like, just let that go.
And the download took 3 days?
It was like 2 or 3 days, yeah.
That is crazy. Yeah, the game that came bundled with Bloodworth's console. Yeah, I think think this is a power to the players. I'm okay with this. Brandon rolls his eyes. Is digital the future? Is GameStop just like running on a treadmill that it's eventually going to pass out on, Brandon?
Yeah, there we go. There's a question I can answer.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because you were like, who do you side with? And I'm like, yeah, I don't really know if I have a side.
That's what I mean to say. Is
but
like,
I mean, if I was pressured, it probably wouldn't be GameSpot. GameStop.
GameSpot is
Both.
great. Hey, GameSpot is great.
I don't know why I would ever side with them. Yeah.
To not die.
I feel bad. Yeah, it's a tricky situation.
When you have a choice like that, that's so clearly done, to be like, no, we don't want that.
We love used games.
I love used games. Next story, Minecraft. Oh, this is kind of related. Minecraft Story Mode. Its retail release is coming soon. It's coming in October. The way they're doing this is it's called a Season Pass disc. And so you buy the Season Pass disc of Minecraft Story Mode. It'll have episode 1 on it, and then we'll automatically download each chapter as that is released. And then so that you've bought them all at once with this Season Pass disc.
I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think this is a holiday play.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. That's exactly what this is. Explain that.
Because Minecraft's obviously huge. Obviously, everybody knows that their kids and grandkids love Minecraft.
Yeah.
And so you put a new Minecraft thing out there. They probably know right now that their schedule is not going to get them to finish the whole season before the holidays are over.
Oh yeah, they'll probably finish only one episode before the holidays are over. Yeah.
So they want to get that out there, get that in people's hands, and then also not have people worrying about putting their credit card online and all this kind of thing. They want to just get a gift for somebody.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Is this the first game that's doing that formula?
Yes.
Oh,
As far as I
okay.
know,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that before, but yeah, that's really interesting.
You know for sure that they'll come out with another version afterward that has all of them on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just to get a disc in people's hands
Before the
That's
holidays
totally
are over.
right,
Yeah.
it makes sense for this type of game because like I basically did this for Game of Thrones. Like my brother was really into all the Telltale games and super into Game of Thrones. So I'm like, oh, there's no brainer. Like his birthday's coming up, and I just like gave him a gift certificate, and he bought all of the chapters, and then went into chapter 2, and they were like, buy the chapter, and he was like, I bought the whole set, and they were like, nope.
And then you could have just
Buy the
gotten him this
chapter.
cool disc. Yeah, and
So,
imagine
yeah, if
like
you
giving
have-
him that.
Yeah, I think it's a smart play as opposed to something like a gift certificate, and you got to explain.
Yeah.
Okay, tell little Timmy to redeem the code, and then he'll have enough money, maybe even more, to buy this and other stuff versus just like boom, there's the game.
All right, panel, you've convinced me. This is a genius idea. I wasn't sure before,
For
but
this
yeah,
type of game.
absolutely for that type of game, that's genius. That's pure genius. Ooh, my gosh. I want to talk about one last thing before we move forward. Is a news thing that just came up today. Persona 5 has been delayed to summer of 2016. Proudly delayed. Just there it is, summer 2016 at the end of the trailer. When up until this point, I think even as soon as last week, this game was doubled down as a 2015 release.
But no human being on Earth except Ben believed that.
I believed it.
Well, then you are silly.
When a publisher comes out and says, yes, this game is definitely coming out in 2015, look
Not
forward
when
to
you've
it.
seen so little of it, I
How
feel like.
dare you? Like, I guess I'm mad at
Well, it's not belief. It's like another word. It's like as pseudo reporters or journos or whatever we are, like
Not journo. I don't like that word.
We have to
Journo.
We have to rely on what they tell us. It's like that's what they like.
Yeah.
That's why it was a conversation thing, not because like we could just put it on the shelf and then walk away and not talk about it anymore because there's nothing to talk about because there was no date. It's like we'd be very surprised considering we've got no other trailer. Like that's how I felt about Zelda. It's like we haven't seen the game. Like they were like playing some weird tech demo. We actually haven't gotten a trailer that actually like sells the whole experience. And like I'm not gonna believe that game even exists until I see that. So it's like same thing with Persona. It's like we haven't really had that moment yet. So it's clearly not gonna happen this year.
Yeah.
But they just haven't said it.
I think
Just
that
why, like-
ours, as journos, ours is to disbelieve everything everyone tells us. Not
Trust no
believe
one.
it. Yeah.
You're right. I won't be fooled again. Oh man, I'm so salty about this.
You'll be fooled again.
Summer of 2016 is the thing. They knew that whole time that they were telling us 2015 that it was not happening.
But I don't understand
You think
what
they
the
purposely lied to you?
No,
You think they
I don't know.
purposely-
I think people have their, I mean, this is just what Ben Moore does every time, right? It's like, hey, I'm gonna have this ready. I'm like, I don't think you can do all of this, and then sure enough,
disease.
So you're saying Atlas believed in themselves. They
Yes.
believed the entire time that they could make it 2015. And then they ran up to that
Because what's the benefit? Like, is there like some 2015 club that they got access to and they got to hang out with all the cool 2015 kids or something? Like, what would have been? Well, what's the sacrifice? Where it's like, oh well, now
the
that we've made that
sacrifice is
announcement,
the money
that we're
you're
delaying
spending
it.
every month. The sooner your game comes out, the sooner you're bringing in revenue.
yeah,
Right.
And so, like, the longer you wait, the more you push that back, the more you're spending without making. That's what the crazy thing is.
They were hoping for a Ben-a-fit.
No.
Just
No.
hype from people like
So we're going to move on from that. We're moving on
Yes,
to...
it worked.
Well, you're
It
the
did
one
work.
who started this conversation. Today we have from...
Jessica's like, what the hell?
I read the rundown.
Oh,
yeah.
no
I
one's
saw- I
ever
saw
done
the
that
notes. Oh!
before.
Yeah, no one's
I
ever
read
done
it.
that before.
I
People
came
who work there
prepared.
every day don't read
Oh
the
my
rundown,
goodness!
so-
He actually pulled a question from one of my old friends.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
this comes-
bias.
This comes
Bias.
from... I did not know this was one of Bloodworth's old friends. It's simply a good question. Also, great name. Aviator Gamer.
Yeah,
Does
he's
this
a,
person fly?
yeah, he's a pilot.
Oh,
he
nice.
does. He actually was just recently in Nepal. He does relief work and that kind of thing.
He
Whoa.
tweets at me from time to time. I recognize that.
Cool.
It's got a number 8 in it.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. You're right. It is AV8 or Gamer.
Nice.
Here we go. Do you think we will see a continued growing trend of pre-order stretch goals like Deus Ex Mankind Divided or Tales of Zestiria?
I hope not.
Yeah. Is that something the market will support either for good or for bad? What will the long-term effect of this be on pre-order market that's been burned pretty badly between AC Unity and Batman Arkham Knight on PC? Jess, you opened up with I hope not. So yeah, I do want to can you explain what a stretch goal pre-order thing even is? Like, what is going on right now?
Well, I don't think I really know the definition of the stretch goal pre-order. I just saw, I read through the article and I was
Yeah.
seeing that, with Deus Ex, there were different tiers that
Yeah.
you could choose from. And I feel like, to me personally, that's annoying because it's like, if you want to pre-order something, like just give us like a designated piece of content. Don't make us go through and pick like, you know, a kid in a candy store. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like give us.
Let me try to explain
Yeah.
that Deus Ex one, because it is crazy. So there are 4 tiers, right? And on each tier you get a choice.
Yeah.
So, and then if you order the collector's edition, you just get all of the pre-order incentives anyways. It was just hilarious. But anyway, the way to unlock more tiers is through people pre-ordering. The more people who pre-order, the other tier we can get to, the next tier, and the next tier.
I feel like somebody else, like this isn't the first, I feel like somebody else did this, but I don't remember who.
Maybe Kickstarters, but like for like
No,
Deus Ex, like a huge
not
game?
Kickstarter, like another pre-order thing. It's like get more pre-orders and you'll unlock things.
I mean, Tales of Zestiria is doing the same thing. It's crazy to me because in both cases they're keeping it a secret about how many need to get pre-ordered to get into
Oh,
the new
really?
tier.
Oh, weird.
Which makes me believe it's a fake number. Do you know what I mean? It makes me think
Right.
it's a very flexible number that
Right.
they're just.
That's safe to believe that. Yeah.
Because like
yeah,
if
just to drum up news. Yeah, to hype
Oh,
it
just
up.
like we got to tier 3, I get a new pre-order exclusive.
Like it's gonna hit the top tier no matter what.
yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I guess we'll see. We should make bets on if we think it'll hit the top tier.
Okay, so this is opening up like things that you could get in the pre-order. They don't
Yeah.
pick.
You
from
still
the
get to
tiers?
pick. You still get to pick from the
Okay.
tiers.
Okay.
Which is still insane. It's a,
Right.
I can't believe how they handled this pre-order scheme. It's
Right,
so weird.
right. Well, because that's the other thing with you know, Batman that recently came out. Like, there was no way to get everything, like all of the content, because like Walmart had its own special pre-orders and Target had its own, and you know, all of these other places. And so it's like there was with Batman, there was no way to get the full game or like all of the content, and I don't think that's fair to the consumer. Like, they shouldn't have to like think that Walmart is offering like a better, you know, pre-order so that they go buy from them. Like, we're fans already. Like, you should reward us for wanting to buy your game. Don't make us like, you know, pick between mom and dad, basically. You know,
Target and Walmart.
yeah, exactly.
The
And
secret is
so-
it's all basically terrible.
Yeah, it's all bad.
What do you mean it's all
The
terrible?
pre-order incentive content. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the things that you actually get. Yeah, I mean, but some of it comes down like for Deus Ex. I mean, you can get like art book stuff. You know what I mean? Which I think is cool, and like some comics, like things like
or
that.
soundtrack.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like a sample. Yeah.
Oh, so they're more like real world things.
No, because it starts off with like the lower tiers are just stupid little, you know, augments and things like that.
Oh, okay.
But
Just
specifically,
awful.
the question said, do we see this more?
Yes.
Like, is this more like going to happen? The stuff that you were talking about, specifically dividing stuff between different retailers, like I see that continuing because that to me translates to actual dollars. It's like
Right.
Walmart or whatever. Like there's a deal that happened. Whereas like this just smells like some sales PR person that just got way too excited. You know, and I could just see them being like, guys, we are going to change the definition of a pre-order.
Yeah.
You know, and I could see like when that image first came out, like I didn't see like a press conference. I saw like a conference table and literally like a projection.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that like, you know, they got photoshopped that, and that was the thing that was shopped around. Just look at this thing, man. Look at your options. You know, it's it's an interactive pre-order. You know, like,
You can
Yeah.
get people to guilt their friends into pre-ordering so that they can get their gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the way you said that, Brandon, because we know there are people out there whose job it is where they hear the word
yeah.
pre-order and it's just like it's like cake in their stomach, like just like that.
Did you
word.
have that pre-order presentation today?
Gets
Yeah, I
like
got that big
diarrhea.
Yeah.
that big Deus Ex pre-order thing today. Yeah, wish me luck. They're gonna love it.
That's exactly what that is.
Pre-ordered
And
50 times. But it reminds me of the ultimate insult where I was just like face palm every time, where it's like, retweet this so many times and we'll show you the new trailer for
Oh,
the
yeah.
game. You're like, or I'll just wait to watch.
You're gonna
the
show me that trailer, yeah.
I just realized
hey,
something
I love
too.
trailers so much I created a site called GameTrailers, and
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, I'll wait 48 hours. Whatever. Like,
I had a big issue with the term pre-purchase. Because anytime you're purchasing something, you're just purchasing it. You can't I'm
Right.
pre-purchasing everything I'm going to purchase for the rest of my life right now. Because I'm pre-purchasing it. But like, pre-ordering is the same. When you order something, you don't get it right away. You're just ordering it.
Right.
Whoa. Everything is stupid and
You're-
language
you're-
is a lie.
you're pre-shipping.
Yeah.
That's why I love George Carlin. He's all over that stuff, or used
Yeah.
to be. You know, like that was his big thing.
What's so interesting, I mean, speaking of language, that they stole the phrase stretch goal from Kickstarter, I
Right.
think is brazen.
Well, they stole the whole concept. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing. It's like the bet. It's like, and that's again probably the mentality. So like they want this, you know, because the Kickstarter's blowing up. They're getting more involved, and it was like, well, we're getting more involved in the development of a game, not
Yeah.
the sale of a game. Like
They misinterpreted
That's not
that.
what we want to be involved with. Like,
Yeah.
we just want to go get the game. Like,
And don't they
there's no
call
part
it?
of this.
Don't they call it something silly too, like the augmented pre-order? Or
Augment your pre-order.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the only way to make it more insulting is if like Jensen actually like narrated, was just like,
Oh
hey,
gosh.
I got the new report in about the pre-orders. This is pretty awesome.
Oh my god!
Look at all the tears.
Look at all these comics.
Some marketing execs are getting so sweaty thinking about that. Okay, we got to move on. Thank you, Aviator Gamer. It's time for bets. Blood Bowl 2 has a worldwide release on September 22nd. At this point next week, how many topics will exist in the general Blood Bowl 2 thread on the official forums? At this time, there are 164. Pretty active forums. They've been talking about Blood Bowl 2 since 2013. I was peeping in on their threads. They care about like the dice rolls and everything. They're very particular. The Blood Bowl 2 people. Who's first this week? Blood. You are first to reveal your bet. How many topics will there be in this Blood Bowl 2 thread?
I'm gonna say 260.
Okay.
I think once people get into the game, people are gonna start putting up a lot of different things.
Brendan Jones.
I'm way too high. I'm losing it. I'm going 500.
Whoa.
Yeah, way too high.
I think
Oh, we
that's
don't
higher
know.
than the original Blood Bowl topic.
Wait, so did you actually do some research? You went into the threads and like looked around?
Yeah.
How dare you? Okay. All right. My bet is a mere 192.
Oh,
Well, I mean, so
you
I
have really nice handwriting.
Thank you. I think that there's going to be a lot of things within those topics, but how do you come up with
Right.
480
That's why
topics? You know what I mean?
That's why I'm losing. You're
Jess,
correct.
What is your
I
bet?
did 307,
307.
and that's only because I peeked at what he did, and so I was like, oh, I guess I'll do a little bit
The whole
higher.
reason we do these cards is so no one peeks.
But I saw him do it because I didn't know what he was doing, and so
Actually,
Blood was just pretty brazen about it.
it's my
He
first
looked
time
horrible.
here, obviously, and so he was like writing something down. I'm like, oh, what's he writing over there? Is it his name? Like I didn't know if we did like name tags or
You drawing
something.
pictures?
So I saw
Like-
the numbers. So.
But to your credit, Jess, he did do it in the open. Yeah, you're supposed to you're supposed to write, but Blood did just write right out in the open.
He was all-
He's confident. He knows it's going to be 260. He did the math.
256.
Let me lock those in. Okay, a little delay there. So
Sorry.
let's talk about last week's bet. It was about Super Mario Maker, which released last Friday. How many playthroughs will there be on the top-rated level at this time this week?
Oh.
Hubert bet that there would be 747 playthroughs. Blood bet that there would be 1,604 playthroughs. Jones said 1,400. I said 9,993 playthroughs. This is one of the times. This is the most wrong we've ever been.
Uh-oh.
The creator is named Niramu. The level is called Don't Press
any
Anything.
buttons. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. It's so good. And he has a don't press anything too.
So you're one of these playthroughs.
Yeah, sure. I did it like a few times actually because I was so impressed by it.
There are 433,065 playthroughs.
Jeez.
Here's the sad fact about that. That is only 40.56% of the people who started Don't Press Anything succeed at Don't Press Anything. And
You
what-
have
don't
one
have to
job.
press
you have one. It is Don't Press Anything.
But you do have to wait, so they bailed.
Yeah.
You know, they were just like, no, skip.
Oh.
I bet you're right. I bet that was it, Brandon.
Like, oh, you don't play this one?
Which is fair.
I bet
it
they're
is
like they just
incredible to
hacked
see
this.
once.
Like,
Yeah.
I bet they're like, I wonder if they think it's fake or something because it's so impressive that
Yeah.
I wonder if they're just like, oh, this is just like a demo or something.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a Rube Goldberg machine where you just watch Mario fly
What
through
if,
this
what
world.
if we're selling these people short? Benefit of the doubt, like what if like a bunch of like children or cats or something jumped on the controller while they were doing it and they was like, oh no!
A
Like,
cat-
60% of these people, cats
They-
ruined it for them.
They
No.
bailed. They bailed.
Cats can absolutely play Don't Press Anything.
Yeah.
I pressed something to see what would happen, and I died. But so I could have
Oh, so
been
you're
part
one
of
of
that.
the-
I could have been one of the
Oh, they're all just
60%
curious.
to
Yeah.
Second
Right.
playthrough, they're
I'm a
curious.
statistic,
What
you guys.
happened?
Yeah, that's really, really funny.
No,
mean,
I did it a few times.
I
got
actually
one.
did that at E3. There was one where I was like, I better just jump to the end or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's how that worked out. I win that bet, but I mean,
But 400,000 is
We're-
amazing.
like I'm definitely within like the margin of error for this one. Do you know what I mean? Like we're all so far off of this bet, but I did have the high bet. So our current score is Super Seat 11, Blood 13. Jones has 5 with a lightning bolt. I now have 8 points. As the winner, I have the right and responsibility to say my Twitter handle, close out the show, and promote one video
Are
at
we sure
GameTrailers.com.
that the Super Seat's 11?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
2 points back.
Yeah.
Creeping up on Blood.
Okay. There was some weird thing where like it was the wrong number on the last episode, so I was like, wait, should this be higher?
Oh man, we might have to recalculate. Well, there was a Dawn month that may have messed up your timeline.
Yeah. So like I remember last week putting this might be 12 in the video,
Ignorance
expecting
is
it
bliss.
to be.
How
Ignorance
dare
is
you?
bliss,
It's
Ian.
11. It's 11.
All right, then it's 11.
Okay. But that's a big deal to be only 2 points back from Blood. That's not bad.
Who knows, man? I don't know.
I definitely feel like you're pulling for the Super Seat.
Huh?
You're pulling for the Super Seat.
I want this show to be canceled.
Oh boy.
Okay, so video. I did not even. What an idiot. I do this whole rundown and everything. I knew that I won the bet, and I did not think of a video that I want to promote. So I'll promote the best game show ever.
Yeah,
that'll be
thank
the
you.
video. Where can we go watch that?
You can watch it on youtube.com/bestgameshowever.
Can I just do it? And can I search for it too?
Yeah, just best game show.
What's the
ever.
most recent episode?
The most recent episode was our season finale, and it's where we tricked our friends into thinking that they were coming over to play Mario Kart, and we actually put them in Alien Isolation. Yeah, and it's pretty hilarious, and you'll see like fellow Smosh people on there, like Joven and Flitz. Who else was on there? Oh, Michael Davis from the Warp Zone, and then me, my producing partner. Yeah, a few people, and so it's a really funny episode because the fear that you see on our friends is real.
That is cruel too, because Mario Kart is so fun.
I know. No, it's really funny because we like really tricked him. Like we had like Mario Kart sitting up on like the computer screen, and we had like the Wii remote sitting there on the chair. So when they sat down, they like pick up the wheel and all of that stuff. And we're like, oh, you know what? Use this instead. And it's the Xbox One controller, and they're like, oh, you can use this? That's okay. I didn't know you could do that with virtual reality. Okay. And then it comes on, and you're in this dark, scary spaceship, and they finally realize what it is. And everyone was an amazing sport, and they actually go through and play, and it's terrifying, but it's also hilarious.
Cool.
So-
It's the best game show ever.
It is the best game show ever. Yeah.
Cool. My Twitter handle is @KyleBossman. I'm so sorry, Jess. We can't even say your Twitter handle. That's the rules.
Really? Oh.
We can make an exception because you're
Okay.
a super special guest.
Okay.
What is your
Thank
Twitter
you.
handle?
My Twitter handle is JESV @JessV.
Jess V.
4 letters, very short.
Bloodworth? No.
No, not you.
Brandon Jones? I
no.
don't even know what your Twitter handle
No.
is. Ian Hink? Who cares? Everyone, thank you so much for watching. We've been having issues getting it on iTunes. We're trying as hard as we can to get it up on iTunes. Please be patient with us. We're trying. Thank you so much for sticking around, though, and we'll see you next week. And, as always, tomorrow is forever all ours! I love...